All right, guys, it's me, Justin, the Action Figure Minute, and today we're looking at a big set. We're looking at the NECA Universal Monsters. Now, this was an homage, we'll say, to the Burger King Crypt Club figures. I'm guessing it's not putting that Burger King and Crypt Club anywhere here on the box due to them having to pay licenses and royalties to Burger King. So I'm guessing NECA is saying, hey, we're already paying Universal. We don't need to pay Burger King and their Crypt Club. But this was a fun exclusive set. Came out last year. I've been sitting on it. And it's time to open it up because this is a big package taking up a lot of room. I'm an opener. Let's go. Before we open it up, though, let's check out the back of this package because it's fun, too. It's got a couple fun call-outs on here. We've got the Wolfman Cellar Dweller. And we've got Scaly and Scary Creature from the Black Lagoon. We have Bolts and Volts Frankenstein. And last but not least, we got Down for the Count Dracula. Super fun, you know, kind of like knockoff looking, even though I think NECA really did a knockoff version of the Universal Monsters just recently. I just didn't pre-order those. I can't remember what they were called, but not anything that rang a bell with me. But these ones, I remember these Burger King commercials back when I was a day. I never had the toys, though. Did you have the toys? Neat display. I kind of wonder, is there something down here at the bottom? I don't recall there being many accessories with this set, but I'm going to go ahead and crack it open and we'll see. Okay, the mystery has been solved. There are no accessories down here at the bottom. The figures are just held in through this plastic tray, so we can remove. Voila. Just knocked over several things. But now we have a really good look at the figures themselves. So here are the figures with the plastic prison taken off of them. I really like them. I think Dracula is my favorite. I really like the paint job that they did to his head here. Well, let's go ahead and open this set up. If you do get this set, be on the lookout. On the bottom here of the package, we have a stand for the Wolfman. He comes with a little stand. I'm pretty sure that the standard black and white Universal Monster one that I purchased also came with this. But it's basically just for one of his feet to stand on. So we'll go ahead and set that aside. So make sure you don't toss just this away and don't realize that you threw that away. Also, the coffin, it has some handles on the side of it, and one of my handles fell off the coffin already. I think it's just clipped on there. So again, just to make sure you're aware so you don't throw them away. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take these figures out one by one. The paint jobs on these are very, very simple. He does have a lot of washes throughout his jumpsuit. The paint job on his head sculpt is pretty simple. It doesn't look like there's any really washes or dry brushing work done there. It's just to make it very reminiscent of the old school, you know, 3 3/4 inch toys that these were based off of, the Happy Meal toys, I believe. I never had them again. I have to look them up. And we'll do a quick rundown on articulation. He can get his arms out. He can go all the way around. He has a very deep cut in his single jointed elbow, so he can get some really good motion out of that. His hips can go out to here. They're on a barbell. And I imagine most of these figures, a little bit of twist on that hip. We got a single jointed knee. And then the ankles, due to him being the Wolfman and doing these Wolfman style poses and walks, he can get some really good toe pivot out of that. And he does actually have a cut at where his fur meets his pants, so kind of like a boot cut. And then we have an ankle rocker also. So very cool. And let's go ahead and put him on this figure stand. And I think this is so you can kind of get him kind of in a Wolfman, you know, toe pivot running kind of pose. So his ankle's not, so his foot's not essentially 100% flat on the ground. So we've got our Wolfman style pose here. Got him on his small stand, and it really does help him stand on one foot and kind of have that Wolfman pose going here. You probably got to play with it just a little bit to get him in the real Wolfman pose that you want, but there we go. I really like the Wolfman. Looks really good. All right, next. Next up, we have the Scaly Creature from the Black Lagoon. And this clear see-through plastic does a really great job of capturing the fun look of this figure. I really love the overall sculpt of this creature from the Black Lagoon figure, and the clear, see-through, transparent plastic is really well done. Really fun nod to that vintage style toy from Burger King back in the day. A lot of great articulation that you can get out of this creature from the Black Lagoon. Doesn't come with all of his accessories that the standard Universal Monsters figure had, but that's not what this set was for. This is supposed to model after, you know, more of those retro 3 3/4 style figures. But he can get some really great poses with his hands here, horizontally hinged, and his neck and his head is on a barbell, so he can look all the way around. And standard articulation, he has double jointed elbows, but they don't have as much function to them due to the plastic getting in the way, so you can't get as deep of a bend. And his knee is also double jointed as well. And again, due to the sculpting, you can't get the full range of motion, which is fine, because I think what they did, it captures this creature just very well. And overall, any articulation deficiencies they don't take away from the overall sculpt and aesthetic of the figure, which I greatly appreciate. Next up, we have the Mummy. I really like the translucent plastic that they did for his head and his neck and his lower arms and hands. The green jacket looks very good as well, tying it into the black pants. Overall, just very impressive and fun looking. All of these guys are going to look super cool on my Universal Monsters shelf. Now, Frankenstein, he does have very similar articulation to all the others as well. You know, kind of like the same body buck system, if you will. His arms can go all the way around. The elbows can go past 90 degrees. His hands are on horizontal hinges, and they all moves very fluent. Hips can go out here. They're on a barbell. Single jointed knees and these massive clodhopper boots. Ankles are pretty tight to get that pivot, but he does have good rotation for his rocker. So yet another fun Frankenstein. I really like the little silver hits that they did on his neck bolts as well. Okay, next up we have Dracula's casket in a very red plastic with Bela Lugosi style eyes painted up towards the top, and Dracula and some designs on the front of the casket. We can open up his casket, and nothing's really in there, but it does have a little bit of texture, so it kind of looks like wood. And then on the sides, we have these handles that can go up and down. They flop. They're clipped in there, and here's the one that fell off. Go ahead and it goes back in just that easy. So I was able to put it back on. Has the handles on both sides. So nice little dio piece for our main man Dracula for when we bust him out next. Now here he is, Dracula. I'm pretty sure he's still my favorite out of the bunch. I just really like the paint job, how kind of knockoff-ish it is, or similar to the Burger King commercials from back in the day. His cape can come off. It basically just kind of clips around his neck. Just not tight, but it's not loose. It doesn't necessarily want to fall off simple either, but you can go ahead and put it on, off pretty easy. Articulation wise, you know, he's got all the same kind of movements as everybody else. Not going to go through all that, but Dracula's all about the aesthetics here. He just looks super kooky for a cheap Burger King commercial. I really love him. We can put him in his casket. He's getting up out of bed. All in all, it's a fun set that NECA was very creative in coming up with. This was a NECA store exclusive that they decided to do. I think it was just a limited time order to get these 4 figures. Something that's going to just display nicely. People are going to look at this on my shelf and they're going to be like, what the heck are these? And I can say, oh yeah, don't you remember those Burger King commercials from way back in the day? Oh yeah, they made modern toys off of them. And they're going to be like, are you crazy? And I'll say, yes, I am. I am the Action Figure Minute. This has been your Action Figure Minute. Peace. And before I toss it, I forgot we should probably take a look at this backdrop here. And what is that I see? Another handle I didn't realize had fallen off. So be on the lookout for those handles. But let's take one last look at the Frankenstein and the Dracula with the silica, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and the Wolfman cellar dweller backdrop for the package. All right, bye.